Psychological tricks, the inside scoop. People are always trying to understand and even manipulate others, but not everyone has that skill. Only a few really know how to do it. However, don't be naive and think you'll never fall for it yourself. It's better to be prepared ahead of time for a potential encounter with a manipulator. This video reveals 12 psychological techniques that work on everyone. You've probably used some of them unconsciously before, or had them used against you. Watch till the end to learn how to take control of these situations. The Benjamin Franklin effect. The idea is that by doing someone a favor, you start to like them more. Franklin used this approach as a political strategy. To improve relations with a colleague who disliked him, Benjamin asked for a small favor. Knowing the colleague had a rare, interesting book in his library, Franklin sent a note asking to borrow it. The colleague lent him the book, and a week later Franklin returned it with a thank you note. The next time they met, the colleague, who had never spoken to Franklin before, struck up a conversation with him. After that, he frequently offered to help Franklin, and soon they became close friends. Use this if you want to build a better relationship with a coworker or anyone else. By asking them for a favor, they'll subconsciously think they have something you don't. This form of flattery is a great way to turn anger into warmth. He that has once done you a kindness will be more ready to do you another than he whom you yourself have obliged. The artificially induced desire to help. If you want someone to want to help you of their own accord, try this. Ask them for something they definitely can't do. They'll refuse, but they'll feel obligated to you. They'll then approach you offering assistance because of that lingering guilt. They'll try to help to absolve themselves of the feeling. Freedom from guilt is a wonderful thing. Daddy's wisdom. Unsolicited advice, no matter how well-intentioned, shows you think you know best and can't keep your opinions to yourself. But if you want someone to take your advice more seriously, say it came from your father. People tend to place more importance on parental guidance. Have you ever noticed when someone was manipulating you? Share your experiences in the comments about how you reacted. There is nothing which men despise so much as advice. Clearing a path. If you're in a crowd but need to get through quickly, just focus your gaze on your destination. Don't look at the people around you, the scenery, or your phone. You'll notice people start clearing a path. The reason is they'll make eye contact with your purposeful stare and naturally move aside to let you through. It is easier to deceive the masses than the individual. The unique name. Want someone to like you more? Call them by a form of their name no one else uses. If you want warmth, use their preferred name variation like Nick instead of Nicholas. Everyone has options: Bob, Robert, Robbie, etc. Find out which one they like best ahead of time. If you want to keep things formal, use their title. A name is already an omen. Disarming an opponent. If you have a meeting where you'll be criticized or no conflict is inevitable, sit next to your opponent. To look at you, they'll have to turn their whole body. It's much easier to be aggressive towards someone across the table. But if they're right beside you, it becomes very difficult. There's no such thing as a good war, but to fight an aggressor is to fight war itself. The privileged ear. There's a trick to get someone to fulfill your request. People process auditory information differently with their left and right ears, according to researchers at Auburn University. They conducted listening tests where different info was played into each ear simultaneously. In one test, participants focused on repeating what they heard in either the right or left ear. In the other, they repeated everything they heard with both ears. The results showed both groups used their right ear more intensely and effectively to receive and process the information they heard. Phrases heard by the right ear appeal to logic, while the left ear connects to emotions. So if you want to ask someone for a favor or need work help, speak into their right ear. But for romantic professions, use their left ear. Study of evolution in the animal realm shows that the ear is the latest and assuredly the tenderest and most wonderful of our senses. Making someone believe. If you want someone to believe you, speak slowly. Rapid speech creates negative associations. They may think you're nervous or unsure of what you're saying. Stay calm and measured in your delivery. People respond better to someone speaking deliberately and thoughtfully. Pack your story with as many details as possible, and they'll be sure to believe you. Never lie, except for practice. The right question. When addressing a group, like giving a presentation, ask questions the right way if you want people to engage. Instead of, "Does anyone have any questions?" say, "What questions do you have?" In the first case, people likely won't respond since the phrasing implies the answer no. With the second, people will start asking questions. This is a tactic used by successful speakers. The question is harder than the answer. The water cooler. If a coworker is lingering despite you wanting the conversation to end, grab a water bottle and head to the cooler. As you refill it, they'll keep talking, but then walk toward their desk instead of yours. They'll automatically sit down, allowing you to calmly return to your work uninterrupted. Remember a time this trick was pulled on you? Service and friendship are parallel lines that never meet. Appreciation over apology. If you're late for a meeting, don't apologize and draw attention to your fault. Instead of "Sorry I'm late," say, "Thanks for your patience." This highlights your counterpart's positive qualities, leaving a pleasant impression of your interaction. The most thankful are the most fully rewarded. Being specific. Be direct and address requests to a particular person. Rather than ask, "Does anyone have a pen?" single someone out. Do you have a pen? In an emergency, don't look for someone to call for help. Take charge and instruct a specific person. "You, sir, in the red jacket, what's your name?" "Okay, Michael, call an ambulance and ask when they'll arrive." They won't have a chance to refuse. The request that is likely to be denied is the one that is vaguely diffused. So there you have it, 12 powerful psychological tricks that can work wonders when used tactfully. But like any tool, they can be misused to manipulate unfairly. Wield them wisely. It's important to be mindful of when these techniques are being employed on you as well. Pay close attention to people's motivations and the subtle ways they may be trying to influence your thoughts and behavior. A healthy skepticism can protect you from being taken advantage of. At the same time, don't become paranoid or assume the worst in every interaction. Most people don't consciously intend to manipulate. We all use some form of persuasion tactics instinctively in daily life just to get our point across effectively. The line between influence and manipulation can be blurred. The key is to develop a nuanced understanding of social dynamics and power plays. That way you can recognize when reciprocity is being abused versus when someone is simply trying to connect and communicate clearly. With practice, you'll get better at interpreting motivations and responding appropriately. Ultimately, psychological techniques are neither good nor bad. They're neutral tools that can be used for positive or negative ends. What matters is the intent behind them and how ethically they're applied. Use them judiciously to negotiate, resolve conflicts, and relate more harmoniously with those around you. But never abuse that knowledge to coerce, deceive, or deprive others of their autonomy. When leveraged wisely and with good intentions, these insights into human psychology can be incredibly empowering. They allow you to disarm confrontation, rally cooperation, and diffuse tense situations. You gain more influence over your circumstances instead of being at their mercy. Respect this power and you'll go far in life. So keep studying human nature and conversational strategies. Keep growing your emotional intelligence and ability to connect with people's inherent psychology. The deeper your understanding, the more effectively you can inspire, unite, and lead those around you toward mutual understanding.